These two rescue cats were surrendered twice. My vet said most people would have returned them in the first week. Mia attacked without warning. Oliver screamed at every stranger who came near. Then, 10 days after I brought them home, I sat down at the piano, and everything changed. My vet looked at my arms on the second visit and said something I haven't forgotten since. She said that in 20 years of practice, she had never seen a bonded pair quite like these two, and that most people would have returned them both within the first week. I had not returned them. I was on week 3, and I had the scratch marks to prove every single day of it. This is the story of Mia and Oliver. A calico and a gray tabby who came from the same rescue, had been surrendered together twice by 2 different families, and arrived at my apartment in a carrier that rocked and rattled the entire 40-minute drive home, because one of them, I would learn it was always Mia, never stopped throwing herself against the door. I'm a piano teacher. I have been teaching since I was 19, and I give lessons out of my home most days of the week. Music has been the organizing principle of my life for as long as I can remember, the thing I return to when everything else feels unsettled. When I adopted Mia and Oliver, I was told they were bonded, which was true. I was told they had some trust issues, which was also true. What I was not told was that Mia would attack any hand that entered her space without warning, regardless of context or approach, or that Oliver would produce a sound at a frequency that could physically startle people the moment anyone other than me came within 4 feet of him. The rescue meant well. They simply did not have the full picture of what these two were carrying. The first week was honest about what I had signed up for. Mia drew blood 3 times on day 1 alone. Not from fear in any obvious sense. She was not cornered, she was not startled. She walked up to my hand while I was reaching for my coffee mug and bit down with full intention. Oliver was different. He didn't attack, he disappeared behind the washing machine for 6 days in a row and screamed whenever he heard the front door open, a cabinet close, or a chair scrape against the floor. I had read about separation anxiety in cats. I had fostered animals before. I thought I was prepared. I was not prepared for this specific combination of this specific pair in this specific apartment. 2 completely different problems sharing one very loud, very scratched up space. I have scars on both forearms from that first month. When people asked what happened, I started saying rosebush. The real answer took too long. The pivot happened by accident on a Tuesday, about 10 days after I brought them home. I sat down at the piano before my first student arrived. I had completely forgotten the cats for a moment. I just started playing. A Chopin nocturne, the one in E-flat major, slow, low, consistent tempo. I played for maybe 3 minutes before I looked up. Mia was sitting directly beside the piano bench, not pacing, not tense, not watching my hands, just sitting with her paws folded underneath her, eyes half closed, completely still. I stopped playing. She opened her eyes and looked at me. I started again. She closed them. I sat at that piano for 2 hours that afternoon and did not teach a single lesson. There is research suggesting that cats respond measurably to low, sustained tonal frequencies, and that the tempo of certain slow musical pieces falls within the same range as a resting cat's purr vibration. I cannot say with certainty that this is what was happening with Mia. What I can say is that it was the first time in 10 days that I had been in the same room as her without monitoring my hands. Whatever the mechanism was, the piano had reached something that my patience alone had not yet reached.
Oliver found his way to the bench by week 3. He did not come close immediately. He started from across the room, then moved a few inches closer each day, the way a decision gets made in small stages. By the end of the month, he was lying on his side on the bench beside me during practice, paws draped over the edge of the keys, eyes closed. Sometimes he would press a key by accident. He never flinched at the sound. If you're still here and haven't subscribed yet, I appreciate that you've stayed this long. Hit subscribe. You're gonna want to see where this goes. This changed how I approached everything with them. Teaching piano for 10 years had given me one skill above all others. I know how to stay with something that is not working yet without panicking about it. I know how to repeat the same small thing 100 times without frustration, because I have watched students do exactly that and find their way through. I began applying that same approach to Mia and Oliver. No rushing, no forcing, no emotional reaction when Mia bit or Oliver screamed. Calm, consistent presence, and the piano running through most of it. With Mia, I learned to identify the specific moment before she would escalate, a slight flattening at the base of the ears, a tail that went suddenly very still. I started redirecting her before that moment became something larger. No punishment, no raised voice, no drama. A calm interruption and space. Then I let her choose to come back. She almost always did. Oliver needed a different approach. He needed gradual, repeated exposure to other people. I started asking my piano students to sit in the room without interacting with him at all. Just be present. He hid at first, then watched from the doorway. Then, about 6 weeks in, during a lesson with one of my younger students, Oliver walked in on his own, crossed the room, and laid down against her leg while she played a Schubert piece. She did not move for the rest of the hour. She told her mother it was the best lesson she had ever had. It has been almost 2 years now. Mia has not drawn blood in 14 months. She sits beside me at the piano every single day, without exception. She claimed the left half of the bench as hers, and I stopped contesting it around month 4. When I play longer pieces, she stays for the entire duration. She has sat through full Beethoven sonatas without moving. Oliver greets the students he has decided he likes. He has preferences, clear and consistent ones, and he makes them known, and I have learned to respect them the same way I respect Mia's. They are not the cats they were when they arrived in that rattling carrier. But more than that, they are finally the cats they were always capable of being, underneath all that fear and history and unsettled past. What these two taught me is something I already understood in theory from years of teaching, but had never felt this directly before. You cannot force trust. You can only show up consistently, learn the language the other creature is using, and give them enough time and enough safety to decide that you are worth it. Some of that happens through training and patience and small daily choices. Some of it, for Mia and Oliver, happened through a Chopin nocturne played on a Tuesday afternoon before I even remembered they were in the room. If you are thinking about adopting a rescue cat with behavioral challenges, go in prepared for the timeline being longer than you expect. Learn to read the signals before they escalate into something harder to recover from. Find whatever it is that quiets them, even if finding it takes longer and looks stranger than you anticipated. And do not give up on them before they have a real chance to show you who they actually are, without the fear. The cats that are the hardest to reach very often become the ones who, once they trust you the most completely. Would you adopt a rescue cat that 2 families had already given up on? Tell me in the comments.